What's going on? This is Tony Taylor, the host of Leaders Lead the Podcast. I'm super excited about today's show. I'm super excited about the guests. We bring the best guest on our show. So here's what I want you to do. I want you to get in the chat room, access any question that you want. If you're watching this live, we'll show the question. We'll talk about the question, and hopefully the question will help us grow as a community. If you are listening to this podcast on any of the major podcasting networks, leave us a review. And in the review, ask us a question too. Reach out to us. Our website is www.tonytaylorinspires.com. Thank you for coming. Hey, what's up? I'm Tony Taylor. Are you here for Leaders Lead the Podcast? Let's go. Hey, how did you beat me? Look, let me tell you about this podcast. We got like 5 seconds. Leaders Lead the Podcast is about leadership. Not just the leader without, but the leader within. All of these leaders that I'm talking to across the country, well, across the world now, they have one thing in common, and that's that they have overcome some insurmountable obstacles to get to where they're at today. Come on, let's go. Ooh, I gotta say, that was epic. That was epic. I'm so excited today to introduce you to somebody that I've been watching on LinkedIn for quite a bit. She is a teacher, somebody that um, man, it's a profession that I don't think is heralded enough. I think that there are unsung heroes. She is also a course creator. She's a course creator. I've been noticing quite a bit the course creators that we have. You'll see them on Instagram. They'll say, hey, I'll teach you how to freaking tie your shoes. I'll teach you how to tie your shoes. All you got to do is give me $17,000 so that you can learn properly how to tie your shoes. Like, they're teaching people, or they have these courses for stuff that people already know how to do. And that's one of the reasons why I kind of been a little bit nervous about starting a course. But looking at our next guest here, content, I'm just like, man, she kind of struck something in me. I'm going to welcome now. Hey, what's up?
Hi.
Hey, welcome.
Tony, thank you. Thank you.
So I was going through all of your content on social media, and I was just like, wow, it is so freaking engaging. You look so happy in all of your posts. It literally makes you want to smile looking at your content. Have you always been so happy?
Wow, looking at my childhood, I was definitely a vibrant little girl, and I lost that somewhere along the line on my journey. With the challenges that I faced in my life, I lost my way somehow, but she's back, and I had to reconnect with that little inner child of mine, that creative soul, that free spirit, the one that really is curious, the one that wants to create, the one that wants to experience fully life. So yeah, she's with me now. We're
Oh,
one.
I like that you said that. I like that you said she's back. We we named the title of this episode Refined by Fire. And that was something that I had saw that you had did a post about, and I like that. I like that quite a bit. On this show, we bring leaders on the show, not your typical leaders. Well, we do bring the typical leaders, but we bring you're not typical. There's nothing about you typical. There's nothing about
We're all unique.
the people that come on that's typical. But when I say typical leaders, I'm talking about people that come on shows and they talk about leadership metrics. They talk about different ways that they can get people to do stuff. When I say, or when I see a leader, I see somebody. I'm inspired by the leaders that have overcome some obstacles. I'm inspired by that leader that knows how to get out there and get stuff done, and they're inspiring not only themselves, their families, their communities, but they're inspiring people out there in social media, and you're doing that. So welcome to the show.
Thank you, Tony, for having me.
Yeah. So this you're it's late there where you're at.
Oh, well, that's the reality. The time difference is just what it is, right? So we're gonna flow.
Yeah. What time is it? You're in England.
So now it's 1 a.m. Yes, it's 1 a.m. in the morning.
What time did you say it was?
1 a.m.
Ooh, 1 a.m. 1 a.m. Thank you for spending this time with us. So do you teach? You teach full time?
Mm. So, many things intertwined into one. I'm a former teacher, an educationalist. I did my master's in educational sciences, and I'd been teaching in Poland for about 15 years. But then I diverted because I felt, the way the curriculum was going, the way the government was imposing kind of regulations and targets, it was not aligned with me anymore. And I could not express or be who I wanted to be or the kind of teacher I wanted to be because of all the limitations. So I felt I was meant to branch, and I branched into coaching because coaching is similar to education, but it involves more of evocation, unearthing, unlocking, bringing forth, calling forth. So, I trained, of course, to be a deep dive personal development coach. But then when you train to become a coach, so what? Like, what's next? They
Yeah.
train you to be great coaches. We had all the values, we had all the skills, but then how do you start making money? How do you start making a living? How do you start attracting clients? Like, they didn't teach us all the marketing stuff, how to market yourself and all that. So that was another journey. But I made a commitment to myself to master the art of my style. And that meant my unearthing of my gold dust I speak about. The
Mm.
gold, which of course was refined by fire. And connecting the dots, it became very clear what my mission was as a coach. And I do what I do today. And yes, I'm a deep dive course creation strategist, not your typical, because I use my educational background. I use my deep dive mindset coaching as well. I use my passion to unlock and unearth the gold dust of my clients who really want to make a difference in the world. And we package that into a framework, into a solution, into a blueprint of some form, which then they can deliver and use it as their voice to attract their tribe, to attract people that vibe with them, to show up authentically, to show up as themselves. And with an offer, with a structured procedure, they can truly make a difference in the world.
Wow. I love the way that you put that because like I mentioned before, I've I've seen hundreds of courses now where you're just like, bro, you just slap that stuff together. I'm not stupid. You did a Word document in about 6 minutes and you
Mm,
uploaded some videos and boom, you have a course. Do you see that kind of stuff?
mm. Oh boy, there are many things out there, and I choose to focus on what I do. There are many things that we can criticize and say this and say that. And it's true. It's just like in any industry, really. There are those that just do it for the money and don't really focus on the quality. So when you do sign up, you get like something which you didn't expect. And that's why it's very clear that, you set the expectation and the client knows exactly what they're signing up for and knows exactly what they're getting. That way, I'm clear, they're clear, and there's no disappointment. Well, at least in my case. So for me, it's a very personal approach that I have with my clients. It's an experience, it's a tailored experience because I don't believe I can just teach you how to create a course and then go off and do it. You're going to get stuck
Yeah.
most of the time, especially depending on the depth, of course, of the transformation that you're delivering. But that has been the experience. Some of my clients that have come to me have signed up for other course creation programs on how to create a course for themselves, for their field. And they get stuck because there's no one there to support, to validate that yes, you're on the right track, to correct, to guide, and to say no, this is actually how it's supposed to look like. This is, and talk them through the whole process. So that's my ideal client, those that value the tailored, customized experience because you're not here to joke around. They want to create something truly transformational.
Wow. So what type of coaches
Hmm.
do you normally
Yeah.
service?
Career coaches, leadership coaches, therapists, and nowadays even doctors sometimes. So I'm also currently working with the United Nations Industrial Development Organization, UNIDO, and I'm helping them create their course on gender lens investing, which is meant to close the gap between how finances are distributed between men and women. It's aimed at entrepreneurs, at venture capitals and investors, angel investors, and all those that really have the power to distribute funding equally. So the gender lens is an approach that investors are encouraged to use so that we are more intentional about how we distribute money in the global economy. So I'm so privileged to have had the opportunity to work with them, still working with them. So as you can see, I'm your typical course creation strategist.
Wow, you seem like you're very passionate in what you do, and that's one thing that I've noticed to be one of the many commonalities between, the people that love the people that are in business for themselves. You could tell the difference in somebody that's doing it to get money, and or you could tell the difference from somebody that's doing it because they love what they're doing, and it seems like you really love it.
My clients are me, Tony. I feel them because there's a struggle, you know. If somebody becomes a coach, they have a story. They've been through something. Just like me, they've been through some form of difficulty. They've been through some form of obstacle. And for them to come to the stage where they want to give back to the world, but not quite sure, it's like the warrior. They have that. They know that there's a calling within them, but they're missing the tools sometimes, or they're not quite clear where their tribe is. They're looking for their tribe. They know they're out there, but they're not quite sure how to find them. They need that voice, the warrior's call, and it has to be unique to their tribe. And that is a whole exploration. That's a whole new game, finding that in this online world. So it's been my journey, right? As a, a mom, I'm a mom as well. I've got two children. My clients also have a lifestyle. They've got children, they've got obligations, they have dreams, they have goals, and but they have a passion and a burning desire to do something great in this world and leave a legacy. For me, a transformation online course is your legacy, is your blueprint. And I'm not here to just create courses on how to do this, how to tie your shoelace. No, I'm talking about transformation, life changing transformation.
Wow. 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 So in doing this journey, what would you say is kind of the hardest thing that you've had to go through from I guess from growing up to now to this point? Because I believe that another commonality between great leaders is that we've had to overcome obstacles.
Hmm. Yes, I feel great leaders have to know themselves. There has to be a certain level of self-awareness of who they are, because it's only then can you lead others to become who they truly are. If you don't know who you are, you don't know what you stand for, you don't know what your values are, what your vision is, what you're meant to do in this world, and how are you supposed to lead others to do the same? So it's been a journey. I remember really my breakthrough and my breakdown. I
Mm.
think those that follow me know me quite well by now. Um, I had been a teacher, like I said, but I got lost somewhere along the line. We ventured into this business world, into this entrepreneurial world of, let's set up a business and let's start making money. Let's do this, let's do that. We were maybe in our mid 20s then. And we set up these two businesses. It was a web development company, a branding agency, and an import export company. Things were going quite well, for a while. But because of certain choices, certain things that were overlooked, we spiraled down. And I
Mhm.
found myself, Tony, in front of a pawnbroker shop selling all my precious belongings because our two companies had gone bankrupt.
Wow.
So the question is really what's left when you lose every single thing that you thought kind of identified who you were? the status, the position as a, a business owner, or having this and having employees and being that, and all the cars and the house, whatever. And you lose all that. So what's left of you?
Yeah.
That's why people, sometimes we can lose our confidence when we identify ourselves with the wrong things. Because when we lose them, you're like, what's left of me? And if you don't find the answer quick to who you are beyond the labels, you can easily fall down this depression, and you can really be saddened by life circumstances. But I discovered who I really was. And
Wow.
it took a journey of really reading a lot, listening to audiobooks from the pioneers and the philosophers of personal development, from Socrates to Descartes to James Allen and Clement Stone to, of course, Napoleon Hill, and then the modern day pioneers and all. It
I was
took a while.
Yeah, I was gonna say I know that you read Think and Grow Rich, because I heard you say the key phrase, and
Mm,
that's something that I've been reading about a lot, is the burning desire.
oh yeah.
How many times have you read that book?
Oh, maybe twice or three times. It's a book that I think every entrepreneur must have read it somewhere along their lives. But that was not the first book that I read that really set me on this journey. The very first book that I stumbled upon by chance, and it wasn't even the physical book, it was an audio book, Conversations with God by Neil Donald Walsh. Ironically, nothing religious, but
Wow.
it introduced me into this realm of the mind, the subconscious, the paradigms, the universal principles, right? And how all that affects our choices and how we show up in the world and our results. And I was like, whoa, had I created that? And the answer was yes, Veronica, you did. You created all that you had ever experienced by, the choices and the beliefs that you had. But then the exciting news was, okay, if that was my creation and I'm this creative being, then what can I create now? What is
Yeah.
it that I can create? And that's where, of course, this set me on this journey. And it didn't just happen overnight. It took years of reprogramming my mind. I didn't know, this is like 10 years ago. I didn't know that it was called reprogramming, nor did I know I was rewiring my mind, sowing new seeds. But of course, they started to reap as
Wow.
things started happening. I started listening more, noticing, feeling more, and acting upon that.
Wow. I think that's beautiful that you said, in order to have, and let me know if I'm wrong when I requote this, in order to have a breakthrough, you have to have a breakdown.
Hmm. And you see, the key thing is, do we have to? It's
Ooh.
always a question, but like, do you really have to? Sometimes I, we, I feel sometimes we're like messengers, or we've gone through the hard road or the winding road. We've gone through the hard way so that others don't have to. You don't have to be in the pawnbroker shop selling your last precious belongings to pay for the rent to wake up. You don't need to sell your soul to your to a job you hate and compromise your values for what you don't believe in. You don't have to sell your soul to discover who you are. No. So I feel that you don't have to.
Wow.
But most of the time that is the case. It's a self-discovery thing. And
Yeah, that's interesting you say that. I know when I was in the middle of a breakdown, and that was the moment where I would say months before I said, okay, I'm going to do this podcast full time. That was months before I said I'm going to start speaking full time. And it was like in probably the lowest moment in my life when that happened. But I'm like so grateful that it happened. But just like you said, I wish I would have had a freaking blueprint, or been able to follow somebody else, or had the wherewithal to follow somebody else's blueprint. And it sounds like that's what course creation is about, or having a course is about, like setting a blueprint, right? Am I getting this right?
You are getting it right. And I'm talking about the transformational ones. It's a blueprint of your life. There has been something that we've been through, a problem we've solved that is unique to us, something that we've triumphed through, either in our working life, professionally, or in our personal life, right? And the challenge is finding the needle in the haystack, because we have so many experiences and we have so many things that that make who we are. But creating a transformational online course is like finding the needle. What is that one thing that I could replicate, that I have personally been through? You're replicating something that you've triumphed through and packaging that into a solution for a specific problem. And usually it's something that you have personally gone through as well. And the whole purpose is for others not to struggle and go through what you had to, or go through that long winding road when you know that there this, you know what, you don't need to go there. Actually, it's just here. It's not that far, it's not that far. You don't have to take a year to get your first premium paying client. You can take 2-3 months. You don't have to take 6 months like I did in the beginning. You can do it within this time, right?
Wow. Wow. The people in the chats, they are loving this. Veronica, you speak the truth. What a brilliant speaker. Yes. Wow. You're sparking conversations. Now, this is really great. I'm going to show the viewers a clip of you speaking the truth. Cover your ears a little bit because I know on your end it could get a little bit loud. So,
Okay.
all right.
One thing that I realized when I was kind of, finding my way to that freedom, I had to give forgiveness. I had to give forgiveness for me to experience forgiveness for myself. You see, we can only receive that which we give. I don't know if you really get this. We can only receive what we can give. If you're looking for inspiration, give that. If you're looking for peace, give that. If you're looking for empowerment, give that to others and you will be empowered.
That was
Yes.
that was super dope. I like that concept. I noticed that whenever I'm feeling uninspired, what I'll do is I'll do a video. And that's how I started doing videos. I would go to my car and I would just make a video to whoever was going through the same things that I were going through. So that really resonated with me. I was just watching that, like bobbing my head. I like it. It was like, this is a rap video. Like you would have heard the word like bars afterwards, because those were some bars. Yeah, I'm super, super, super inspired by you today. I was gonna ask you about the TV show that you're on. That you're on, was it Big Brother Poland?
Yes, yes. So of course the name was slightly different. It was called Bar, but yes, it was the Big Brother setup, and it was by chance. I didn't even audition. I didn't even have. If you know a bit of my story, I used to perform in a band back in university. This is like 25 years ago.
Wow.
And we'd play all over Poland. We'd go for concerts with this African band. We're about 6 of us from Ghana, from Congo, from Guinea, and from Nigeria, I think. And I think I was scouted by one of the organizers of the program. It was like, oh, there's this program. Would you like to? I was like, I was there. I was maybe 21, maybe or so, 22. Like, yeah, why not? So that was it. I didn't last there. I didn't last at all. I was not feeling it. This vibrant Veronica was this quiet little mouse that was looking around like, shit, where do I put myself into?
Why don't you feel like you fit in?
Well, first of all, my Polish was quite rusty back then. So, and second of all, it was more of a show. You had to really put on a show, do something that would call attention to you and make the cameras all on you to be popular and to be voted or not voted and things like that. So that wasn't me. I wasn't feeling it. So I wasn't really engaging as much. I was quite boring in that show, I must admit. they
Wow,
they said, nah, she's
that is
out.
so that is so funny because I can't picture you being boring because your content is
Yes,
off the chain.
that's true, Tony. That's because that's me. But
Yeah,
when you are put into this box and you're supposed to be something else and intentionally and forcefully do something, that's not me. I'm not forcing. I cannot force.
it's like a forced barbecue at work, right? It's not gonna be fun. There was
But
a
it was an experience. I mean, I met one or two nice, participants that were pretty much down to earth, and I really vibe with them. But it was an experience, definitely.
wow, that's awesome. There was a clip, I didn't grab it, but there's a clip where they were like looking at you. They're like, "Does she speak?
Mm,
Is it Polish? Is that
yes,
what? Does
Polish.
she speak
Yes.
Polish?" And you started like talking, and you could just tell that they were like, "Whoa, not, we did not expect this lady to be able to speak Polish." Did you get that a lot? Not just when you
Yeah.
just being in Poland.
Oh boy, I have my Polish heritage and I'm very proud of it. Like my mom is Polish. I wasn't born in Poland. I only went to Poland as a teenager, right? When I was supposed to go to university. So it was a whole new experience for me. In Ghana, I felt so much at home. I didn't feel any different. Like there was nothing that I felt so good. But in Poland, I realized that, you know what, I was the only black girl in the whole university.
Yeah,
So that was interesting. Um, but I feel that because Poland was a communist country many, many years ago, and it started slowly opening up. So I was in a period of time where it was just opening up to the world, and people were not very much aware. So I used the opportunity to educate, right? Me being the teacher that I was, and I designed T-shirts with African symbols, and I would go to fairs. I would, wherever I could.
that's fun. That's
Uh,
fun.
yes, because it's not about being the victim, right? Some people really don't know. And I feel in Poland, it was just that they didn't know. And now, when I went there last week to visit my mom and my sister, like I could tell them it's a huge difference. It's such an international country now. In Warsaw, especially, so many nationalities you can see. I went to a party. I was like, whoa, am I in London still? I mean, there were all colors, So Poland has really opened up to the world, and it's nice. It was nice to see that.
Wow. Yeah. Usually when I hear the word Poland, I don't necessarily think that there
Mhm.
would be black people in
Oh,
Poland.
they are, but especially in Warsaw, that's the capital.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So is your dad from Ghana?
Yes, my
How,
dad is from Ghana.
from Ghana? How did they meet, if you don't mind me asking? Because I know Poland,
Absolutely.
Ghana, that's yeah.
Like, how did that happen? Oh, it's a beautiful love story, I must say.
Oh,
And first of all, you have to know a little bit about Ghana and its history. When Ghana gained independence from the English power, we were granted independence, and the first president was Kwame Nkrumah. Now, Kwame Nkrumah had socialist views, and he was in very good relations with Russia, the Soviet Union, and Poland, them being communist as well. So most of the infrastructure you can see, even in Ghana, the Volta Dam, which is the largest worldwide man-made dam in the world, was built by the Russians, and there was a lot of cooperation between them. And as a result, Ghana was sending their engineers or their the civil servants to Poland, for example, to on scholarship to extend their learnings or to learn some new skills from the Poles and exchange those experiences. So my dad was one of them. He was working as an engineer in the Ghana Broadcasting Corporation. He was the leader for broadcasting different events internationally, even a very responsible job. Even he tells me the story. And yeah, so of course, Poland, new environment, and he didn't speak Polish at all.
Wow.
And one of his friends had a girlfriend, and the girlfriend's friend, my mom, met my dad, and she started teaching him Polish, and he started teaching her English. So I guess the relationship built, and they became fond of each other. And
Oh,
he took her to Ghana, and she was only 22 years old when she left Poland. Can you imagine?
wow. And went
Only
to Ghana.
Yes, she said, she'd always been fascinated. She had this passion and this desire to travel, and she was like just like me, I guess. She was very adventurous and did some adventurous things. And I'm like, when I talk to my mom now, she's like, I can't imagine what I was doing. What was I even thinking? I'm like, but yes, so that's how they met.
Wow, that is beautiful. That's like a love, one of the greatest love stories I've heard. I love
Well,
that.
but it's funny. There were many Ghanaian scholars that went to Poland and brought back Polish wives. So in Ghana, you have a huge community of this mix of Ghanaian and Polish children and adults. We've all grown. I'm actually one of the first generation Ghanaian Polish mixed um, that were born in Ghana.
So you're like an OG. You go there, you're like, I'm the original.
No, now there are many.
Oh man, I love that. There was a clip that I was watching with you. It looked like you were getting on your mom's nerves. You were dancing on her.
Yes. Yes, because I was doing my video. She was in the corner. She came in. I was like, nah, she's not going scot-free. She just spoiled my video.
Oh man. Oh,
So I took advantage of the moment.
that's really cool. It sounds like you're one of those people, um, very, very successful. And something else that I notice about successful people and successful leaders, they don't take themselves too serious. How important is that? Or do you take yourself serious?
I have a distance to myself, and well, first of all, when we say we don't take ourselves too seriously, what does that mean? It means that I can laugh at my own jokes, I can laugh at my own mistakes, and I can be myself, not necessarily in a way that fits into this box of what professional looks like. No, I don't fit into that kind of box. I'm not your typical teacher. I was never the typical teacher, even in school. Right. So I've always been out of the box kind of person, and I don't like being pressurized. I don't like being controlled. I'm quite stubborn with that.
At least you can admit it.
Uh, so I guess that means yes, I do have a bit of distance to myself, and I think we all can do that.
Wow. I like how you put that, that you have distance within yourself. That's really good. I might have to still you're okay with me still in that, right?
Absolutely, because when there's a distance between who you are and what you're experiencing, there's a space for energy to flow. So
Yeah.
it's not pressurized. It's not kind of it's not. Yeah, it's not. You're not cringing. It's not. There's space. There's
Yeah.
space. So where there's space, energy flows freely, right? So there's no tension. You have that perspective that, oh, okay, oh, I did that. Oh,
Wow. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense because I know when I started podcasting and speaking, I can tell the shows that I would do that would bomb, and those shows would be the ones where I'm like, all right, when I start, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do this. These are the questions that I never said. I never had like pre-coined questions, but I just
mm,
whenever I did not allow that space, you can definitely tell that it was not a good show. You could definitely tell that it was not a good event. So now what I do is I go into especially like these atmospheres, like just wanting to learn more about the guests, more about who that person is. And I appreciate you for allowing me the opportunity to learn from you today. Like you're such an amazing person. I think the world of you.
thank you. I feel, these opportunities to speak, we learn from each other, we inspire each other, and it's a nice way to build a community, I believe.
Yes, yes. So as we close, I know that there are a bunch of people in the chats and I'm sure they're thinking, you know what? Yeah, look like from what I'm looking, a bunch of entrepreneurs, a bunch of people that I know that probably want to get into the course game. How would they be able to contact you, or what kind of clients are you taking? Are you taking clients right now?
It's quite tight, but of course, it's all about signing up. If they do sign up, we start maybe in 3 weeks' time. So I'm always creating that space. The work that I do is very detailed because I'm hands on. I'm literally hands on with the creation of the course. So it is a very consuming. It demands my energy, it demands my focus, and it demands my space. I like to have my space. So of course, if they do want to get in touch with me, I'm here in the office, where the virtual office of LinkedIn. I call it our virtual office where we hang out. So yes, V Power Coach, or you can visit my website v-powercoaching.com. I mean, I'm not hard to find.
I know, you're all over the place, killing it, killing it. Yeah, and I'll go ahead and close because I know that it's late there where you're at. So I just wanted to tell you, I appreciate you and I appreciate your time. Will you hang out for just quite a second?
Yes,
All right,
absolutely.
all right. Thank you, Veronica. I appreciate it. Ah, man, that was super cool. Is she a model? She is gorgeous. That's what Erin Nicole said. Um, let's see, Ken and Donna, another key for me is that you're altruistic. You give so much support. Oh, I love that. I love that. Every one of our friends, they give support to one another. I think that that is amazing. There's one thing that I learned about Veronica's story today is the whole forged in fire. That's one thing that I think about when I look at her posts. I look at some of the content that she makes. She said that she's went through some stuff, but every time you see her, she's happy, she's engaging, she's doing some amazing things. So that's one thing that I want you to take away from this episode is the things that you've gone through. They don't necessarily make you who you are. They build you up to who you're supposed to be tomorrow. So I will check y'all out next week, Thursday at 5 p.m. and also Friday at 5 p.m. Take care. Peace.